Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Lexus RX 350. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with this RX. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 295 horsepower and then 268 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the RX 350. So first off, you guys can see this one is finished in Nebula Gray, which looks absolutely fantastic. Coming down below, we've got the LED lights with the Lexus checkmark. By the way, it does not blink like that in person. That's just because of the frame rate of the camera. And you guys can see the fog light just down below. Notice we have the parking sensors integrated here into the front. We have the Lexus logo that doubles as a sensor, and then there's a camera right there at the bottom. And then you do have Lexus's signature grill here on the front end of the RX. You guys can see everything, and then you can also see the fog lights are illuminated and kind of how that all looks. But yeah, that's the front end. Coming on the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you guys can see the design on the wheels themselves have a ton of spokes and pretty intricate, but I think it looks really good. Now notice we have the plastic molding there for the fender flares, and then along the bottom right there. And then we have the two-tone mirrors here that's dissected by a little bit of chrome. Notice that chrome molding is also around the windows, and then also for the rails there at the top. And other than that, here's your full side view. Notice how we have that body line right there, and then also with the fender flares. I think that all looks really good. So here is our key fob Lexus logo there on the back. If you want to remote start it, you just got to press the lock button a couple times and then hold it down. That does a remote start function. And then as for the hatch, just hold that down like it says on the key fob, and then that will pop open the rear hatch. Now popping here into the rear, notice we have the cargo cover right there. And then underneath this, we have the spare tire. And you can see one of these speakers there actually for the sound system. And then we have a first aid kit over there. We've got these controls right here to lower down the second row. So if you want to just press those, and then you can have that pop down, and then you can load something here in the back. Really like the trim right here. Definitely looks high quality. And then aside from that, you can lock it or you can just shut it. So we'll just shut it because we got to head to the back. But anyways, wait for it. Bada bing, bada boom. Now finishing things here in the back, notice that we've got the LED lights here in the back, which looks fantastic. Again, they mimic the Lexus logo. You can see it right next to it. Got our RX 350 badge right there. And then notice we have the coverings there for the exhaust tips. Looks really nice, goes with the overall design. Parking sensors here in the back as well. And other than that, that's all for that. Now here's the door panel in the rear. First off, notice that we have the sunshade for the rear passengers. We've got the nice wood trim right here, and then we've got the leather just down below. And then we have a couple speakers here for the sound system. And then here are the seats in the back. So notice we got the leather with the perforated leather here, all in the center. Got the adjustments there on the side of the seat. Well, rather to fold down the seat, not the adjustments, sorry. Sometimes I know what I'm doing, sometimes apparently not. But anyways, let's pop in here just a second. So if you guys are wondering about 6 foot, there's legroom. There's the headroom. Notice we have a couple of vents right here. We've got heated seats for the rear passengers. We have some USBs. And then this does pop down to be some cup holders, some extra storage as well. And let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. Notice that again, we've got the wood trim with all of the leather down below. We've got 3 different memory seat setting functions, which is pretty crazy. Here's the mirrors. We do have blind spot monitoring that come with those. Got all your window controls right here, your door lock and unlock, and then the mirror adjustments. This does have power folding mirrors. And then notice we have the front seats here again, perforated leather in the center with the soft touch leather here on these sides. And then notice the adjustments there on the side of the seat, Lexus plaque. Pedals just down below, and then you got the hood latch release. Notice we've got this for the camera, heated steering wheel, that's for the hatch, the lights, and then the heads-up display. Steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. So here's the steering wheel. We've got a combination of wood trim with leather here where you're actually going to grab it. Paddle shifters there on the back for that 8-speed automatic. Got controls for the center with the pages button, and then stuff for the lane departure, cruise control heading there in the back portion. Obviously got the Lexus logo there in the center. Voice command, volume controls, phone controls, all that fun stuff. Turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster. We've got the RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed. And then you do have that screen there in the center, which you can scroll through a couple different bits of information here on the RX itself. And aside from that, well, that's all for that portion of the center screen. Now, moving from that, we do have a couple different drive modes. We've got our Eco, push in for normal, and you guys will see the dial in a second. And then we have our Sport, which makes things red and aggressive. And now that's all. So here's our center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. Notice we have the backup camera with trajectory lines. They do turn with the steering wheel. We also get that bird's eye view there at the top, and then we can press that button right there to change the viewpoint a little bit, which is pretty cool. Moving on from the camera system, you guys probably noticed already, this is a touchscreen, but you do have analog control. So you can control it via a keypad, which I'll show you guys in just a moment. But if you'd rather use the touchscreen function, then well, you can use the touchscreen function. Response time with it is great. And yeah, other than that, really solid infotainment system. Got our nice Lexus clock right here. And then down below we have analog radio controls, analog climate controls, dual zone climate. Does have automatic climate as well, but it has something that's really cool. It has heated and cooled seats, but they're also automatic. So you can have automatic seats and automatic climate. So then you just get in every single time. You don't have to worry about that. And then notice we have the phone holder right there. And then there's the parking brake, the auto hold right next to all of that. And then we have our charging pad area right here with some USBs and a 12-volt shifter for that 8-speed automatic that does have a manual shift function. And then here's the keypad with the wrist rest. I can finally say that with confidence and not mess it up. And then notice the drive modes select that I talked about earlier with the stability control and then the locker. So this has some off-road credibility. And then here's the center console, more USBs, 12-volt. And then notice the stitching right here kind of connects in a line. And then notice here on the dash and then just up above with all the leather and the stitching. And then finally, forgot, it's push in for the glove box. It just elegantly pops down with the glove box, which is definitely nice. And then we will pop up here to the top. So first off, softer than what you get in like a regular car with the headliner, so that definitely feels nice. And then we have a full panoramic sunroof here in the RX. So there is quite a bit of glare here on the window sticker, so it's kind of hard to see everything. But anyways, the total MSRP before market adjustment, which you can't see because you just see my reflection, $62,990. And wait for it. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the RX 350. There's visibility of the hood, and now you can see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors, they do have blind spot throughout the rest of the rear. And now I want to show something. So we talked about the backup camera. When we pop it into drive, front camera pops on with the bird's eye view, which I think is a pretty cool feature. That all being said, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the 2022 RX 350. Let's start things off by talking about the road noise and the ride quality of the RX. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, it's so smooth. That's something that Lexus is really good at, is just making nice, smooth luxury cars. Like, it's just crazy. The seat's so comfortable. Like, it's cold day today. I'm nice and warm, got the heated seat on. And when you go over little bumps and everything, it doesn't upset the RX. It's just a very nice experience. Well insulated as well from the outside. So yeah, just, they've nailed it from a luxury car perspective. Yeah, it's just so comfortable. I feel like I'm just like cruising along, and like this is a car that's so comfortable that like if I normally can't do this in vehicles because I'm so like high strung, but I feel like I could take if I was like a passenger, I feel like I could just take a nap in here because of how comfortable it is. So we're gonna go over these train tracks. I guess that'll be another suspension test. Nice, nice. That 8-speed is quick to shift. Wow, that is impressive. Yeah, the 8-speed, it's very smooth, but it's quick to shift. I'm actually going to pop it into the manual mode for today's video. So I'm going to kind of roll into the throttle. Yeah, definitely nice and smooth. I have noticed there's a difference though with this transmission when you're full throttle versus just partial throttle, which by the way, we're going to pop it back into normal mode. When you're like full throttle, really quick with the shifts. When you're partial throttle, it kind of like eases into the shifts a little bit more, and I imagine they tuned it that way so that it's smoother, right? Because when you shift quicker, right, It's still super smooth, but it's not as smooth as when they kind of just like gently go into the shifts. But let's sum things up, right? Give this a score as well. So first off, exterior wise, the RX after the redesign still looks like an RX, right? I like the styling on this. I like the proportions on this. I think this is definitely a happy medium for Lexus styling. It's not too, some people might argue with me on the grille, but I think it's fine. It's not too oversized with Lexus's styling, but then it's not too small at the same time. I think again, it's a really nice, happy medium. Aside from that, interior wise, really nice with the interior. Build quality is fantastic. That's just something that's a characteristic of Lexus's. But material use is really nice, especially the touch points. And everything feels very durable with this interior. Like you can tell that this is an interior that's going to last for decades. And that's something that I don't know. The older I get, the more I appreciate that and like that, rather than the, you know, the nicest, newest, most modern materials. I kind of like the more durable stuff. But aside from that, technology is right where it needs to be. It's got, you know, relatively good camera system. The resolution's not the greatest, right? But you have a decent amount of camera views, so I mean, it gets the job done. And then aside from that, ride quality is great. It's, like I said, it's a full-on luxury car. Now, it's not necessarily the quickest, right? But for this particular segment, it's pretty much right where it needs to be. It is definitely on the more conservative side, but again, you are going to get a little bit better fuel economy because of that. And so overall, I'm going to give the RX this particular RX at least, we're going to give a rating of 8 out of 10. Now, I am going to be reviewing the hybrid pretty soon, so we'll see how that kind of stacks up against this RX 350. But they also do make like an F Sport package. They make a luxury package as well. And so that would slightly change the score. But how this particular one is equipped, I think it's really good. And there's not really a whole lot you can knock it for. The only thing you're really missing with this is, you know, crazy high performance. But I don't think that someone that's buying this is really looking for that. I think you're more looking for the build quality that this has, the reliability that it has, and also the resale value. So yeah, that's the 22 RX 350. Now let's get some things up for our video here with the 2022 Lexus RX 350. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray for giving me some time with the RX. Check out their inventory link below. I'll see you guys.